When does move fast and break things work? Americans are getting a crash course in fail fast right now while watching the Silicon Valley approach be applied to our federal government. Sometimes this works, sometimes it's a disaster. And what makes the difference is usually one unwritten rule of work. I'm Dr. Anna Kalschmidt. I'm an industrial organizational psychologist, and I research the unwritten rules of work for the working class, neurodivergence, and intersections of race and gender. The fail fast method basically means trying things quickly, getting feedback early, and adjusting rapidly before a failed project becomes too expensive when you realize it's a problem. It's how a lot of tech startups have operated. But it's also how creative companies like Pixar, the home of my childhood favorite lamp, also are so effective. In her book, The Fearless Organization, Dr. Amy Edmondson, the thought leader behind psychological safety research, outlines why psychological safety is so important for the fail fast method and how Pixar applies it. Co-founder of Pixar, Ed Catmull, says that initially all Pixar movies suck, and he embraces that part of the process. They have created a group called a brain trust where people give honest feedback about the movie project and not about the person who pitched it. Their rules are focused on the project, not the person. The feedback has to be constructive, and directors maintain autonomy to implement the feedback. Pixar minimizes their financial risk by implementing feedback early and not having a movie that sucks. They invest in extensive development phases and don't just rush to production. And they only consider firing directors as a last resort. And what's the reason that they'll fire a director? When they stop receiving feedback. And this is where my research comes in, and Dr. Edmondson. Psychological safety doesn't mean everything's nice and everything always feels good. It means that people can disagree with you and not be punished. But one of my unwritten rules of work that I've researched is called compliance. And it's this unspoken norm in corporate America and a lot of elite organizations that you are not allowed to disagree. And this is hard for people who are neurodivergent because if you ask them for feedback, they're going to give it to you. They're not going to read the subcontext of the situation and defer to the power. They're going to answer it honestly. And people from working class backgrounds are used to direct communication that's used in blue collar work. And so again, ask and they answer. It's the opposite of compliance. So a lot of them are frustrated and surprised when this happens. When they're asked for their opinion, they give it and they're punished. The fail fast method works when psychological safety is present and not the unwritten rule of compliance. When you move fast and break things without wondering how to fix them, you're just in a room of broken things. When you move fast, break things, and figure out how to put them together better, you get Toy Story. So leaders, remember, disagreement doesn't always mean disrespect. Focus on the work and not the person when you're giving feedback. Make sure you give that feedback. I know it's uncomfy. And empower people with the autonomy to respond to feedback.